So hello again. I want to start by apologising. This is about the fifth time I've tried to record this. There is constant traffic, barking dogs, etc. So you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm not doing it again. It's one of the downsides, I guess, to RVing. Anyway, today I want to talk about one of my favourite roles, and that is coaching younger designers. Well, I say younger, basically all designers are younger than me these days. Anyway, as I've done this over the years, I've started to notice common themes that emerge time and again. One of the things I've observed is their diligence in perfecting their design before taking it to stakeholders or clients. They're doing rigorous research, running workshops, mapping the customer journey and doing everything else that a good designer is meant to do, or at least as much as their time and budget allows. We've all got constraints that we work within. They want as much evidence as they can possibly gather to support their design ahead of receiving any feedback from a stakeholder. They don't want to be, caught off guard by stakeholders asking things that they weren't prepared for or haven't researched. And in many ways, this is admirable and, to be honest, a little shaming. I tend to do the bare minimum I can get away with in terms of preparation most of the time. Yes, I do the preparation that I need to, but these guys seem to do above and beyond that, and it's humbling. However, admirable though it is, I'm not sure it's entirely sensible. This preparation is born out of more insecurity than it is necessity. In other words, they worry about how others are going to judge their design, and they want to have as much evidence as possible to argue their corner when they're presenting to stakeholders. Of course, this then comes at the cost of project efficiency. They do more research than is strictly required to make themselves feel better rather than actually improving the project significantly. Beyond a certain point, after all, user research and testing provides diminishing returns. However, even more importantly, I think this kind of insecurity and this over-preparation demonstrates a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of design. You see, in their minds, design is about the destination. It's about that final design deliverable, the thing that the stakeholders sign off and then is then built. I, on the other hand, see design differently. I see it as part of a journey towards the final deliverable. Or put another way, for me, design is a conversation that I have with users and stakeholders that leads to a final site. Now, I know that sounds a bit pretentious, but what I'm saying here is that I favour designing something after really the bare minimum of research and showing it to stakeholders and showing it to users and starting a conversation. As the saying goes, a prototype replaces 1,000 meetings. Yes, stakeholders then poke holes in my design, and yes, they ask questions that I don't have the answer to because I've just made up the design largely. But that's okay. It's okay because now we have things to go away and research and test. You see, the problem with doing a load of research and testing up front is that we don't know what questions to ask. We don't know what the issues are or even really what we're building. By creating something, everyone has something to respond to, and that generates the questions that you can then go away and research. When a stakeholder disagrees with your approach, you go away and compare it to their approach and see which performs better. When people have questions about your design, you can then go away and talk to users to find the answers. Research and testing becomes responsive, not wildly guessing about the information that might help inform the design process. Look, I'm not saying stop doing upfront research. There are some questions that you need answered before you could even start. I'm just saying do the bare minimum and then start a conversation with your stakeholders by showing them your ideas. Yes, this approach does take more confidence. It means you have to be prepared for others to pick apart your work, but that's okay. And let's be honest, it happens anyway, even if you've done all your research up front. Just take the time to explain to stakeholders at the very beginning, as you show them the design for the first time, that these are only your initial thoughts rather than a final design. Say that you're starting a conversation and expect to iterate many times and that you'll need to validate as you go. You'll quickly discover that design is not just a deliverable, but is actually a tool that can help you on the journey towards the final deliverable.